The Lazy Princess. In the heart of the lively kingdom of Redania, everything pulsed with life. The farmers rose before dawn to tend their fields. The merchants shouted cheerfully in the markets, and the air itself seemed to hum with purpose. The grand marble palace on the hill stood as a beacon of order and prosperity, ruled by King Edric and Queen Celine, wise, hard-working, and beloved by their people. Yet within the golden walls of that palace lived one person who stood apart from all the bustling life, Princess Alara, their only daughter, beautiful beyond measure but burdened or perhaps blessed with an extraordinary gift for doing absolutely nothing. From childhood, Alara had learned that if she complained sweetly enough, someone would do everything for her. Her cradle was rocked by servants, her toys were fetched, and as she grew, her idleness blossomed into a habit so profound that the court began to whisper about the sleeping jewel of Redania. When the sun rose, Alara never stirred before noon. If her maids opened the curtains, she would groan and bury her face in pillows. "Someone should have told the sun I wasn't ready," she would mutter. She refused to walk the 10 steps to the breakfast hall, insisting her slippers pinched or her back ached, so 2 loyal footmen carried her on a gilded chair each morning. Once seated, she would sigh at the fruit bowl before her and say, "Why must apples be so cruelly solid? Can't someone chew them for me first?" And indeed they did. The attendants pulped her apples and spoon-fed her, while she complained that lifting her spoon was unbecoming of royalty. Queen Celine, gentle yet firm, often tried to awaken her daughter's sense of duty. "Alara," she would plead, "a princess must serve her kingdom. Have you read the petitions from the townsfolk?" Alara, reclining on her chaise, would twitch her fingers so a maid might hand over a sealed parchment from beneath her pillow. "I meant to read it," she'd say with a languid yawn, "but my eyes were closed for rest." "I can't read when they're closed," her mother would rub her temples. "Then open them," Alara would smile faintly. "I would, but that's far too much effort." The king despaired too. "What shall we do?" He groaned one evening. "Our daughter has turned sloth into a lifestyle." Courtiers whispered jokes behind fans, servants sighed, and even the palace cat seemed to scowl at her. But Alara herself was unfazed. "I bring peace to the palace," she declared once. "No noise, no haste, no worries, just serenity." As the months passed, her lethargy began to hurt the kingdom. Servants fainted from overwork. Meetings were delayed because the princess could not endure drafts, and the treasury clerks joked that Redania might soon sleep itself into ruin. Finally, in desperation, Queen Celine summoned an old friend, Mirabelle, the wise enchantress, known across the realms for solving impossible problems with unusual methods. When Mirabelle arrived, her cloak shimmered like starlight, and her silver hair caught the torchlight like liquid glass. "Majesties," she said, bowing, "I have heard of your daughter's unique talents. You wish me to help?" The queen clasped her hands. "Please, Mirabelle, we've tried everything, pleading, threatening, rewarding, but nothing stirs her." The enchantress smiled softly. "Then let us try a lesson no crown can escape, the lesson of effort." The next morning dawned brighter than usual, the sunlight pouring mercilessly into Alara's chamber. She groaned, covering her eyes. "Who opened the windows?" she murmured. "I did," said a cheerful voice. Startled, she peeked out from her blanket. Hovering before her was a golden broom, glowing faintly. "Good morning, princess. I'm your new companion, the Broom of Change." "Wonderful," Alara sighed. "Now I'm dreaming about cleaning supplies." "Not a dream," said the broom. "I'm very real, and I've brought some news. Your staff is gone." Alara sat bolt upright. "Gone? What do you mean, gone?" "Poof, vanished. You see, my dear, they're on vacation until you complete 3 tasks. When you finish them, they'll return." Alara blinked in horror. 3 tasks? You expect me to work?" "Oh yes," said the broom cheerfully. 3 little lessons to awaken your greatness. Can't we just skip to the awakening part?" "Afraid not." The broom spun in midair. "Come along. Your first task awaits." It led her to the grand hall, a place once filled with splendor, but now dulled by dust and neglect. "Behold," the broom said, "your first task, clean this hall until it gleams." Alara's mouth fell open. "Clean? That's not princess work. That's for servants." "Not today," said the broom firmly. "Your arms are perfectly functional. Begin." The princess picked up a broom as if it were a venomous creature. After a few swipes, she stopped. "There, finished." The broom inspected her work. "You swept dust under the carpet." "Efficiency," she protested. "Laziness," the broom corrected. Grumbling, she tried again. Her arms trembled, her back ached, her gown gathered grey smudges. Yet hour after hour she continued. By midday, sunlight danced on the marble floor, revealing gleaming tiles she hadn't seen in years. When she looked into the polished mirror, her flushed face and messy hair startled her, but she smiled. "I've never seen this hall so bright," she admitted. "Nor yourself so alive," said the broom. "How does it feel?" "Oddly good," she murmured, "though my arms may never forgive me." The next morning, the broom whisked her into the palace gardens. Once a paradise of blossoms, it had become a jungle of weeds. "Your second task," said the broom, "restore this garden." "Oh no," Alara moaned. "Dirt, bugs, sunburn?" "I decline." "You have no choice," came a cheerful splash from beside her. Out popped a talking bucket brimming with water. "Good morning, princess." "I'm Bucket, your helper." "Ready to dig?" Alara groaned. "Why are you talking?" "To motivate you," said Bucket. "Grab a trowel!" When she refused, Bucket tipped and sprinkled her silk slippers. "Ugh, fine," she snapped. She began to pull weeds half-heartedly, yelping every time mud touched her hands. "I'm melting," she cried dramatically. Bucket laughed. "You're learning." Slowly, grudgingly, she began to find rhythm in the work, the tug of weeds, the scent of damp soil, the soft buzz of bees. Hours passed. When she finally stood, the garden had transformed. Roses glowed crimson, tulips danced in the breeze, and butterflies fluttered like confetti. Alara stared, astonished. "I did this?" "You did," said the broom. "How do you feel?" "Tired." "But proud," she admitted. "That's the magic of effort," said Bucket with a wink. That night Alara slept deeply, dreaming not of servants, but of flowers swaying under moonlight. At dawn, the broom hovered beside her bed again. "One last task, princess. Organize the harvest feast for the entire kingdom." Alara sat up, horrified. "The entire kingdom? Alone? You've earned a little help." With a flick, the broom brought pots, pans, and utensils to life. They bowed and awaited orders. "Oh, splendid," she cheered. "Finally, magic that obeys." "Be precise," warned the broom. "They'll follow your every word exactly." "Please," she said, waving her hand. "I've been giving orders since I could talk." She pointed lazily. "You make something easy. You decorate the hall. Make it shiny. You play upbeat music." Then she yawned and strolled back to her room, muttering, "Wake me when it's done." Hours later, chaos erupted. Strange noises shook the palace, clattering pots, screeching violins, and the unmistakable smell of boiled cabbage. Alara raced to the hall and froze in horror. Soup streamed from chandeliers, garlands of frying pans hung on walls, and the enchanted instruments were shrieking an unholy melody. "What have you done?" she screamed. "We followed orders," said the broom calmly. "You told them to make the hall shiny, so they polished it with soup." Alara clutched her head. "This isn't what I meant. Please help me fix it." For the first time, sincerity shone in her eyes. The broom's golden light softened. "Then do it yourself, princess. Lead with care." With a gentle clang, it froze all motion, the utensils, the music, the chaos, leaving Alara alone in silence. For a moment, she stood trembling, then straightened. "All right," she whispered. "Let's start again." She cleaned, cooked, and organized with newfound focus. She directed the pots patiently, decorated the hall with autumn garlands, and tasted dishes until the flavors balanced perfectly. Her gown was smeared with flour. Her hair fell from its jeweled crown, but she smiled through it all. By nightfall, the hall shone with soft light and laughter. When the broom tapped the floor, her staff and parents appeared bewildered.
What happened?
asked the queen. Where's the feast we planned? Here, said Alara shyly. I organized it myself. The courtiers gasped. The hall was breathtaking. Tables piled with roasted meats, golden bread and fragrant pies, garlands of ivy hung from the ceiling, and a band played a warm, graceful tune. King Edric stared in awe. You did this. Who, with a little magical encouragement, she smiled, glancing at the broom, which shimmered proudly before fading into golden dust. The people of Redania rejoiced. The once-idle princess had created a festival of joy and gratitude. That night, Queen Selene embraced her daughter. You've changed, my love, she whispered. What did you learn? Alara looked around at the glowing hall, at the smiling faces of her people, and said softly that even a small effort can make the world shine. From that day on, Princess Alara was never quite the same. She still loved her naps and her silken comforts, but she began rising earlier, visiting the gardens she had revived, reviewing petitions with her mother, and planning feasts with her own hands. Her laughter filled the palace, not with idleness, but with energy and warmth.